Good day. Thanks for joining us on Mayorkings TV News. Now to begin the news, here are the headlines, read by Sinela Emanuela. Celebrating 5th Most Influential Deltans Awards, MEDA, and the Queen Miss Delta International 2024/2025. Jumps back to school protest outreach. Federal government plans low-key celebration as Nigerian youths plan protest against hunger. Shatima returns to Nigeria after UNGA in New York. In the business news, World Bank has approved $1.57 billion loan for Nigeria. On the foreign scene, UK to finish with coal power after 142 years. In the world of sport, Griezmann announces retirement from international football. Now the news in full. The 5th edition of Most Influential Deltans Award, MEDA, and the Queen Miss Delta International 2024/2025, hosted by Mayorkings Agency, officially came to an end on Thursday, 26 September 2024. The celebration, which took place at Sweet Spirit Hotel, Asaba, Delta State, Nigeria, was honored by dignitaries and individuals of great sizes and caliber, such as the CEO of Chrysler Development Limited, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor, SSA, of Delta State on Culture and Tourism, Ambassador Oxley Onomado, the CEO of Eagles Heights Investment Limited, representative of Bruto Constituency 1, represented by Honorable Alakbala, Edaba Groups, Ebelis Foundation, Ambassador Raymond Dominic, Chairman of Task Force and Environment of Delta State, represented by his wife Mrs. O. Godspower, CEO of Egovas Limited, beauty queens from other foundations, and many more. Moving forward, the results collated by the Chief Judge in person of Ambassador Oxley and his crew members was confirmed by the audience to be free and fair. The results was announced by the CAM Director, Mr. Ovier, after which prizes were given to the winners. The occasion, which ended with eventually 3 official queens out of the 6 contestants for the Queen Miss Delta International 2024, folded up with a winner, the first and second runner-up. The second runner-up, Miss Okbe in person of Affair Purity, was gifted a check of 200,000 naira, presented by the wife of the Chairman of Task Force and Environment of Delta State, Mrs. O. Godspower. While the first runner-up, Oshimili South in person of Ifeanyi Precious, was gifted a check of 300,000 naira with an ambassadorship deal for the Astopia project of Chrysler Development Limited, presented by the CEO of Eagles Heights Investment Limited, Mrs. A. Edna. Also, the most anticipated of all, the winner of the Queen Miss Delta International, Miss Saple, in person of Toki Blessing, was awarded with a check of 500,000 and a plot of land over 5 million naira, which is located at Lodge Estate, Asaba, Delta State, presented by the CEO of Chrysler Development Limited, Ambassador Chris and Team Chrysler. Meanwhile, the event, which was anchored by Mrs. NK and Mr. Baba D in the hours of 10 p.m. on Thursday night to 3 a.m. on Friday morning, marked 9 years since the inception of pageantry in Mayorkings Agency since 2015 till 2024. The title of that first show was tagged Miss Cultural Heritage Delta, sponsored by the Mayorkings Agency. However, the CEO of Mayorkings Agency, Ambassador Dr. Temisan O. Lewis, in his speech to the audience, appealed to the Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Uboriwori for his support and input for the Mayorkings brand and pageantry. He further thanked and appreciated all the partners and supporters that contributed to the success of the event, such as Chrysler Development Limited, responsible for the plot of land and the winning gift, Eagles Eyes Investment Limited, Presswind Table Waters, and the general audience for their stay till the end of the ceremony. News recalled that the contestants have been in camp at Asaba since Monday 23rd September 2024 till Thursday 26 September. Present with the contestants on ground were the camp director Mr. Ovie, the chaperone Mrs. Ashantes, the catwalk instructor Mr. Passion, photographers and videographers of Mayorkings Studios. With series of activities which played through from Monday, the 6th contestant entry to camp. On Tuesday, kickstart of rigorous rehearsals. Afterwards, a meet and greet with the CEO of Crystal Development Limited. On Wednesday, rehearsals and exercise continued, after which the contestant went for another meet and greet to the office of the SSG, Secretary to the State Government, in person of Dr. Kingsley Eze-Emo, who addressed the contestants, encouraged them, and further promised to favor the event. Also, the activities progressed. The night to the event, the 6 contestants were interviewed, hosted by Ms. Matu Okpemitorishe and Ms. Timiela Emanuela. The contestants, Ms. Saple, Ms. Ugeli North, Ms. Oshimili South, Ms. Undoka West, and Ms. Okpe, did strive hard to pass the test given by the CEO, Ambassador Temisan O. Lewis, and the manager. As at on Thursday morning, the contestants carried out their last activity, which was the community service outing. They met with traffic controllers at Cowan Road, Asaba, of which they helped clear the environment as part of their service to the community. However, the event featured a scene of dance presentation, corporate wares, creative wares, and traditional wares by the contestants. Also, as screens of Mayorkings agency were seen, handing over their crowns to the present queen as their tenure expired. It was indeed a remarkable experience. The CEO of Joms Enterprise has organized an outreach at Onwere Primary School, Oha, at Okbe Local Government Area, Delta State, Nigeria. The news, which was covered by Mayorkings TV, took place at the Oha Primary School tagged Joms Back to School 2024. The project, powered by the CEO of Joms Foundation, Chief Ambassador Emoko Novio Mume, who proudly is the CEO of Joms Sliming Product here in Nigeria and Canada, was represented by the mother, Chief Mrs. Rose Oyovire, and the Executive Director of the Foundation, Ambassador Temisan O. Lewis, and Mrs. Oreje Otuboru. The project was aimed at encouraging education in rural communities in Delta State. However, the project made free provision of notebooks, pens, school bags, drawing books, and many other educational materials for the students. While the federal government is planning a low-key Independence Day anniversary celebration, the End Bad Governance protest organizers have also concluded plans to stage protests across the country. News reports that for the second time after President Bola Tinubu took over the leadership mantle in 2023, the federal government on Thursday, September 26, announced that the 1st October Independence Day would be on a low-key basis due to the mood of the nation. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Senator George Akume, has said that President Tinubu's government was aware of and sympathized with all Nigerians over the economic conditions they were passing through, hence the reason for a low-key celebration. Meanwhile, some activists clamoring to end bad governance in Nigeria are seeing the event as a fertile ground to continue their protests against the high cost of living and other lingering challenges bedeviling the nation. Currently, there is no end in sight to the untoward hardship imposed on Nigerians from May 2023 after President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy. On Friday, September 27, the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that the prices of beans, rice, bread, egg have continued to rise across the country. For most Nigerians, the economic situation of the country has aggravated to an unbearable stage. However, the protest tagged Fearless Youth in October is an extension of the hunger protest staged in August this year, when the Nigerian youths who were puzzled by the economic situation of the country stormed the streets to demand for a solution. The organizers claimed that President Bola Tinubu has given deaf ears to their demands, stimulating Octoberfest nationwide protests. Vice President Kashim Shettima on Sunday returned to Abuja after successfully representing President Bola Tinubu at the just concluded 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States. The Vice President, according to a release issued by its media assistant Stanley Nkosha, had presented Nigeria's national statement at the general debate, as well as engaged in several bilateral meetings and numerous sideline events at the General Assembly. He will proceed to join President Tinubu to mark some events put together as part of activities commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. However, reports came that at the meeting, Tinubu called on world leaders to prioritize debt forgiveness for Nigeria and other developing countries from creditors and multilateral financial institutions. Vice President Kashim Shettima on Sunday returned to Abuja after attending the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. The President also asked the United Nations to commit to multilateralism, deepening relations among member states, which is in line with the principles of inclusive, equality, and cooperation. Tinubu, who is the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments of the Economic Community of West African States, made the call while addressing world leaders during the general debate of the UNGA. Also, Nigeria reaffirmed its commitment to fostering stronger international partnership and deepening relations with member states of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States. Now in the business news. The World Bank has approved 3 new loan requests, a total of $1.57 billion in financing Nigeria. According to a statement released on Monday, the approval is to support the federal government in strengthening human capital through better health for women, children, and adolescents. It added that the approved projects would also help build resilience to the effects of climate change, such as flood and drought, through improving dam safety and irrigation. The international lender stated that this new financing includes $500 million for addressing governance issues that constrain the delivery of education and health, $570 million for the primary health care provision strengthening program, and $500 million for the sustainable power and irrigation of Nigerian projects. However, the approval made on September 26, 2024 highlights the World Bank's commitment to strengthening Nigeria's human capital and building resilience in the face of climate threats. Now on the foreign scene, the UK is about to stop producing any electricity from burning coal, ending its 142-year reliance on the fossil fuel. The country's last coal power station at Ratcliffe-on-Soar finishes operations on Monday after running since 1967. This marks a major milestone in the country's ambition to reduce its contribution to climate change. Coal is the most dirtiest fossil fuel, producing the most greenhouse gases when burned. However, the Minister for Energy, Michael Shanks, has said that the UK was the birthplace of coal power, and from hence, it becomes the first major economy to give it up. The first coal-fired power station in the world, the Holborn Viaduct Power Station, was built in 1882 in London by the inventor Thomas Edison, bringing light to the streets of the capital. From that point through the first half of the 20th century, coal provided pretty much all of the UK's electricity, powering homes and businesses. Now in the world of sport, Antonio Griezmann, one of France's most decorated footballers, has officially announced his retirement from international football. The 33-year-old forward leaves behind an illustrious career with the French national team, where he earned 137 caps, scored 44 goals, and provided 38 assists. Griezmann played a crucial role in France's triumph on the global stage, including winning the 2018 FIFA World Cup and the 2021 UEFA Nations League. He also claimed the Golden Boot at the 2016 UEFA European Championship. His retirement marks the end of an era for French football, as Griezmann's contributions have been pivotal in shaping the team's success over the past decade. Now to end the news, recap on our headlines. Celebrating 5th Most Influential Deltans Award, MEDA, and the Queen Miss Delta International 2024. Jumps back to school project outreach. Federal government plans low-key celebration as Nigerian youth plans protest against hunger. Shettima returns to Nigeria after UNGA in New York. On the business news, World Bank has approved $1.57 billion loan for Nigeria. On the foreign scene, UK to finish with coal power after 142 years. On the world of sport, Griezmann announces retirement from international football. That's the news as read and edited by Timiela Emanuela. Thanks for watching.